We were treated to another classic from the UK this week. Did you see this woman in England? She was trying to report to some cops that a guy had just spat on her. The police took exception to her use of the phrase dirty migrant, told her it was offensive, and then proceeded to put her through a re-education session.
So you have a problem with my words?
Yes.
Because a filthy migrant just spat on me?
Yeah, that is
and you've got the issue with me?
We have a duty to challenge that language, yeah, because we're police officers and it's...
Because he's filthy and he's a migrant and he attacked me like the other one.
We're trying to help you report which is offensive, isn't it? We can't not challenge that language because...
There's people in the pub.
This particular female cop is the type who should never be given any authority. Doesn't it worry you that she could beat a member of the public with her law enforcement approved whacking stick should she be having a bad day, knowing that she could just come up with some trumped up charges that would justify her actions?
We have a duty to challenge that language, yeah. We can't not challenge that language.
But listen, yeah? We can't not challenge that language. We have a duty to challenge that language, yeah? I mean, that's incredible. They obviously don't have a duty to investigate child grooming gangs, given that so many of them thrive for, up to 16 years, as the cops were too scared of being called racist to investigate. But hey, hearty words. And not even swearing, she said dirty migrant. Unless, of course, she dropped some F-bombs before the recording started. But the fact is that these cops are supposed to be the best of our society. They should have a bit more control over their emotions and be able to understand that this woman was just spat on. She maybe even thought she was about to get a kicking from a man. And perhaps she's naturally going to be in a heightened emotional state. It's no time for a lecture in political correctness. It's very funny, I also saw this clip the other day of somebody being restrained in the back of an ambulance and then he spits in a cop's face. They take it a bit more seriously when it's one of their own being spat on. So there you go, the boss lady police officer finds it offensive. So the investigation turns from being about a woman who got spat in the face to being about that police officer's taking of offence. She'd be better off working in an office, tapping away at an Excel spreadsheet, sending out emails and reports that nobody's going to read, and then making TikTok videos about being 5'3" in an attitude.
5'3" in an attitude! 5'3" in an attitude!
Especially when you're in the public.
Because it's the law. They're very selective in enforcing this law, as we've gone over plenty of times in the past. Because it's the law. I've had plenty of experiences with cops like this. I wouldn't even bother to report anything these days. 20 odd years ago, I was working in a pub in Birmingham. We had to deal with a fight, which was fairly common. Then the police turned up afterwards to take statements. My boss was describing the appearance of the ringleader and said, well, I think he had brownish looking skin. The cop immediately stopped writing in his little notebook, sighed, and proceeded to give my boss a lecture on why he shouldn't be describing people as having brown coloured skin. I can't remember what it was he told us was the correct way of saying it. It was either person of colour or coloured person. All I do recall is that whatever he told us was the politically correct term at the time later became the politically incorrect term about a decade later. But there is a reason they act like this. This is their coping mechanism for being unable to do any real police work. They find an excuse to chastise the complainant. It allows them to deflect from their own deficiencies. This is why they went so hard with the violence during lockdowns, especially here in Australia. Daft laws were broken by normally law-abiding citizens who were less likely to fight back. Cops were told for once that they could uphold these new laws, and they went to town on people. Not wearing a mask, you got choked out. Outside your home at the wrong time of day, pepper spray, tear gas, rubber bullets for you. For some people it went further, they got broken bones and jail time. I predict a lot more of this to come, especially in the UK. You've got these overly officious cops that are high on their own petty authority, pushing laws when the circumstances pose no danger to them, but being very cautious or even turning a blind eye when dealing with violent crimes committed by anyone of any protected group. Is that f***ing necessary? Helicopters and shit flying over the house. assholes. It's probably the police.